And from Cambridge Fieldhouse, greetings. Outside, crowds crowded. For the first time, the two friends square off in WNBA play as Paige Bueckers and the Dallas Wings play Caitlin Clark and the Beaver. Caitlin Clark did more than just keep her detractors quiet. In a historic blowout, she broke for WNBA records and humiliated Paige Bueckers on national television. In the corner is Lexi. Caitlin is extra left wing from her town and downtown. 32 Bever. The competition we've been anticipating for 5 years. When it did occur, it was vicious. We just got done watching the Indiana Fever versus Dallas Wings game live. But the Indiana Fever won 102-83. The fact that this would be the first time Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers faced each other in the WNBA made the game very anticipated. But because this rivalry just shifted from being competitive to being intensely personal, Paige's actions following the game startled everyone even more. Here's Clark off the give and go on her home floor. Howard's extra feet in the lay. High school was where it all began. Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers, two teenage basketball prodigies, are advancing through the ranks to become the sport's future stars. Distinct personalities, distinct styles, and entirely distinct trajectories. In an effort to leave her own legacy, Clark decided on Iowa. Getting Clark off the ball more has been one of Lisa Blood's goals this season. Here, Clark has the first, while driving and lying. Bueckers traveled to UConn to join Gino Auriemma's dynasty. Iowa turnover. It was cut by Bueckers. Their matches were legendary for years. To be clear, though, Clark was in control. In their 3 matches at college, she won 2 of them, including a spectacular 41-point performance in March Madness that put an end to UConn's season. Clark will arrive, Iowa, by 2. 8 more to go. That will take care of it. Iowa returns to the national championship game after defeating Connecticut. Applause, critics held on to Paige's polish nonetheless. Gino Auriemma openly questioned if Clark's outrageous fashion will equivalent to the WNBA. Now is the first professional confrontation between Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers. This was no ordinary game. Philosophies, reputations, and pride were all at stake in this conflict. Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers have finally competed in the professional ranks. Naturally, the discussion over better versus worse has begun. First of all, it's hilarious to do this all the time, but it's a sport. People are continuously being compared to one another in this situation. There are distinctions in their game, but I do think this is a bit overstated. I want to start by saying that I am not a Paige Bueckers hater, even though there are parallels to their game. She is a fantastic player, in my opinion, but it's like comparing a scalpel and a firecracker. Each player will, however, have a unique impact on their club. Clark needed to prove everything. Bueckers needed to safeguard everything. They had also been inconsistent with the Fever. One excellent game that turns into a disaster. Clark wanted pandemonium, but coach Stephanie White wanted a slower, more methodical half-court attack. She desired to spread the floor, accelerate the tempo, and make full-court passes. It's tic-tac-toe. The switch ahead, Clark. Well done. Touchdown Fever. Fires, bounce pass, ab near the foul line, and an AV screen to the right elbow. Thus, the question before this battle was straightforward. Would Clark finally be allowed to play her game by Stephanie White? Or would she maintain control and run the danger of losing this moment? Man, pay attention. This Caitlin Clark versus Stephanie White controversy has the potential to quickly become ugly. I have to be honest with all of you. Caitlin Clark wants to play one way, but Stephanie White wants to play the complete opposite. Yesterday's victory for the Indiana Fever was a tale of 2 halves. The Indiana Fever performed in the Stephanie White style during the first half. That nasty puke basketball was grinded out. During the first half, the basketball team puked. The Caitlin Clark went full throttle, pedaled to the metal, and ran in the second half despite making shots. She was accelerating the pace while running nonstop. What did we do then? We are going to score about 100 points. Our score will be 99. Around halftime, I'm also hearing rumors of an altercation in the tunnel. Furthermore, if it did occur, I'm happy it did. It must continue. And Caitlin Clark must keep putting pressure on them since this is her team. Then the shocker arrived. The keys were given to Clark by Stephanie White. The events that followed were historic. Like never before, Clark spread the floor wide. She spearheaded the attack, managed the tempo, and made the wings appear disoriented during transitions. In fact, he brought up statistics from Steph Curry's shooting slump. She claimed that greatly improved her mood. Mitchell will also be on the money with that pass, dishing to Hall round the corner. Give Clark more food. 3 deep. Did you wager? The Fever outscored Dallas by 21 points after exploding for 36 points in the second quarter alone. The basketball game was stunning. There were always inconsistencies because of Clark's vision. Her colleagues sprang to life. 20 points were lost by Kelsey Mitchell. In the paint, Natasha Howard went crazy, and Boston Aliyah. She turned into a powerhouse, turning every pass into a Clark Federer. The Fever had scored a franchise-high 64 points by halftime. Points. Indiana is on its way. Clark has returned. Away from the hole. Grab it. Fire, you wager. The Bever had a remarkable first half. Indiana scores 64 points. It was a surgical ball movement. She wasn't even trying to force her shot, and Clark had already recorded double-digit assists. But offensive wasn't the only thing at stake. Clark also added vigor to the defense, stealing passes, spotting moves, and causing trouble. Pa has it, bounce pass. Cookies dressed like Cookie Monsters. Caitlin places it to the left. She became the only player in WNBA history to have 14 points, 13 assists, and 5 thefts in a game for the second time in her career when she recorded her 5th steal. That has never been done by anyone else. Not once. Dominance was the issue. It was leadership. A masterclass was held. Paige also performed admirably. Don't misunderstand. 21 points with effective shooting. Yesterday, while Bueckers was burying the jumper, she was speaking with her player development coach. Kaisura sustains it. This is Bueckers. A deep one is preferable. Caitlin Clark's Paige Bueckers. However, the thunder of Clark's dominance over every square inch of the floor overpowered her subtle influence. The press conference following the game followed. Things were icy at that point. What went wrong in the second quarter was the question posed to Paige. She responded bluntly, mostly defending the changeover and preventing us from returning. They were easily offended. The second quarter was difficult. Paige, what specific factors did you see that contributed to the Fever's huge margin? Basically, it's simply transition defense and us not returning. Well, perhaps crashing as well. A lot of people, or simply not having to back. Hurrying to the ball rather than returning. And then, well, they simply got out and got easy. Offense on mistakes and missed baskets. She didn't withhold anything, but she also didn't name names. Without mentioning her name, she praised the work of her own team and therefore gave Clark full credit. She seemed reticent when questioned about her experience competing against Caitlin. Yes, it's enjoyable. As rivals, we both want to win. Fantastic sitting, packed audience. Now that you've finally faced Caitlin in the W, I know you've been asked a lot about it, but tell me about it. How did today's atmosphere feel? Facing them head to head. Yes, it's enjoyable. We can compete against each other at any time. We are two rivals who only care about winning and who have grown up playing against and with one another. So it's fantastic. And this place has a terrific atmosphere. They have a huge home court advantage, in my opinion, and every game is sold out. Overall, the environment is excellent. Warm praise, not precisely. No, she did a fantastic job. No, she was in charge. Simply put, professionalism. Paige had a frown on her face. She wasn't kidding. She wasn't trying to conceal the pain of this loss. Paige also claimed to be intelligent when questioned by reporters about turnovers, particularly the ones Clark picked off. She will make it difficult to make catches and block passing lanes. I thought they were really trapping you on the first. Meeting Paige, you were still able to collect your points and be effective today. How does it seem to you that they may be guarding you differently this time around than they did in the first game? I kind of feel the same way. I still believe that I could have handled the ball more skillfully. But two are simply reading the right out of the trap. So they're setting a double anthon, taking advantage of that. It was more about respect, but it was cold. This was not a friendship-based rivalry. The supporters realized that this was more than just hype when Paige Bueckers subtly said, "I'm not here to clap for Caitlin Clark." To be honest, Caitlin Clark's victory over Paige Bueckers wasn't the only one. She revealed the opening. Clark was setting the pace, directing quick breaks, moving the ball, and interfering with Paige's fluid mid-range shots. Lanes for passing. She improved everyone around her, not just herself. She gave the impression that she was far superior than the Dallas Wings and their players. Caitlin Clark was the system, but Paige Bueckers was a jerk. And for that reason, this game was more than just a victory. For those who argued that Clark's style wouldn't work in the WNBA, it was a statement, a strategic win, a philosophical victory, and a slap in the face. This was Clark basketball being totally embraced by the Fever, swift, flowing, and relenting and releasing the version of themselves that their followers had been begging for. A monster was unlocked after Coach White modified her system. Paige's response, however, indicates that this tale is far from over. Her cold demeanor, her refusal to participate in the praise game played by the media, it wasn't resentment. It served as a warning. This rivalry has not been resolved. It's only the beginning. The stakes will be significantly higher when these two meet again. And there's no doubt that Paige Bueckers will seek retribution. She will need to work much harder following this performance, though, as Caitlin Clark revolutionized a game rather than merely dominating it. Where do you stand then? Could this be the start of the most intense rivalry the WNBA has ever witnessed? Paige ever be able to catch up? Tell us in the comments section. For more incredible moments like this one, hit the like button and subscribe. Pick between Team CC and Team Paige. If Jochi hadn't had such a terrible appearance, I wouldn't have thrown her. When that skanky little donkey dropped from the ugly tree, it struck each branch as it plummeted. She poked the white mamba's eyes out, but did she really think she could get away with it? How foolish are you? Well, attempting to blind the one individual who genuinely piques interest in this league. You are not as privileged as I am. Caitlin Clark has now been designated the enemy by JCS Sheldon. Imagine having millions of people despise you, and you double down rather than offer an apology. What do you think? We haven't really asked you about the WNBA as a whole, the current Caitlin moment, and this new era of women's basketball. I adore it. I believe that I enjoy competition. It's fantastic for the game, in my opinion. I believe that people think of us when they watch basketball and imagine the sport to be competitive, physical, and a touch chippy. However, I believe W2 equally competitive, if not more so. Do you understand? This is precisely what JCS Sheldon simply did. Sheldon eventually spoke up after piercing Caitlin Clark's eye, receiving a fine, and rising to the position of most contentious player in the WNBA. It wasn't an apology, though. The shot was a warning. Sheldon's foul on Clark 2 weeks ago went viral, resulting in a direct strike to the eye, a $2,000 fine, and a flurry of criticism. What actually caused this to escalate? That was referred to as a blatant "she was not." Suspended by the WNBA, Clark did not strike back. The fans were incensed. Officially, that fuse has exploded now. What happened with the chip in there? And what justification did you receive for the technician you received? I'll answer the formal inquiries. The tech she received, had no explanation. I believe it was rather clear that something was going on, don't you think? This has been going on all season long. When the officials lose control of the game, when they let that kind of thing happen during the entire season. This game is not the only one. It has persisted throughout the season. This is what occurs, isn't it? This is the result. Ha! I take it that you have competitive ladies that are the finest in their field. Additionally, they will compete and support their teammates if you let them play physically and let these instances occur. Isn't that precisely what you expected? It's tough competition out of the blue. Tensions escalated during a rematch between the Connecticut Sun and the Indiana Fever. Clark declined to give Sheldon a handshake. Sheldon refused to give up. Sheldon also made her move with a terrifying comment that split the league in two after the final buzzer. Perhaps she isn't cut out for this if she can't manage contact. How therefore did a harsh foul become the most poisonous rivalry in the WNBA? Caitlin Clark is being protected by JCS Sheldon, as you can see above. She gives her an eyeball swipe. JC keeps getting in her face, so Caitlin Clark nudges her away. Tina Charles then approaches and shows kindness of gesturing with her finger at Caitlin Clark. Then, without warning, Marina Mayberry throws her to the ground. Let's now view this in slow motion. Caitlin is being protected by JC Sheldon. Hits her face with a swipe. One is vying for the ball. Hits her eyeball with a swipe. It will be necessary for Caitlin to start wearing goggles. Why are you still in my face? Caitlin then pushes her away from her. Marina Mayberry, a badass, throws Caitlin Clark to the ground. Instead of taking a step back, why is Sheldon doubling down? What would happen if Clark did fight back at last? Let's dissect it. Being skilled at basketball, being attractive, and having tenacity are all factors that make you a bad person. According to my own perspective, one of the current trends in the WNBA is that, in addition to being skilled at basketball, some of these women also don't appear like women. They once had the appearance of guys, but now they appear to be attractive women shooting hoops. You have to go back 2 weeks to see why JCS Sheldon just unleashed war on Caitlin Clark. It began with a defensive play that ought to have been standard. At the top of the key, Sheldon rotates to protect Clark. Everyone was astonished by what transpired next, though. Clark was directly hit by Sheldon's hand. A poke in the eye. Clark staggered back, obviously hurt. Normally a blatant ejection. The ball is a long distance off. The ball is here, literally. The ball has arrived. The ball has arrived. She double-eye pockered. But how? The ball has arrived. For example, how did the referees witness this and determine that it was a blatant one? How did they determine that it was a flagrant rather than a flagrant 2? For example, how did they determine that it is a flagrant and not simultaneously? Since they could at least seem to be ignorant, I would have respected them more if they had declared it was a no call. Then came the outcry and the $2,000 fine. On social media, Ban JC Sheldon became popular. She was referred to as a jealous loser punk by Dave Portnoy. Late-night television also became engaged. Anything that keeps you away from others and indoors. Let's start with our most important story. After being injured, Caitlin Clark is back on the court. And not even a second for the WNBA. It is too early. Caitlin Clark was missed by more than just the Indiana Fever. She was greatly missed by the WNBA. The effect of Caitlin Clark. The cost of tickets has significantly decreased after the WNBA player's injury. Furthermore, the league's silence only made it worse rather than better. Sheldon turned into the bad guy. The victim was Clark. In the midst of it all, a league founded on Caitlin Clark's notoriety was destroyed by a bird that will never be forgotten. So, yes, this has always been a case where there have been EH, and it's clear that Caitlin Clark is unique because of all the different perspectives, the various eyes, and her excellence. Yes, she is the best at what she does. Due to her ability to score points, pass the ball, and shoot from a variety of angles. She was the best college scorer, male or female, that you have ever seen in your career. Men don't do this very often. This is undoubtedly the first time we've seen a lady play like this. That's a significant portion of the WNBA, which is experiencing this same issue. And, well, I believe it will benefit her. In addition, she is the best talker and competitor. I therefore enjoy it both ways. However, this is when things drastically changed. The rematch was scheduled for 2 weeks later, the Connecticut Sun and the Indiana Fever. Round 2, Sheldon versus Clark. It was electric energy. Wearing Protect Clark shirts, fans turned up. Every look they exchanged was captured on camera. Additionally, the first message was sent prior to tip-off. Sheldon's hand was not shaken by Clark. There was a buzz in the arena. There was a lot of stress. It was evident from the first whistle. It was more than a game. It was intimate. Sheldon engaged in physical play. Clark refused to give up. Sheldon was directly hit by a deep three-pointer from Clark in the third quarter. The follow-through was held by her. She gazed down at her, and without a word, she jogged back on defense. It was freezing. It was intentional. It was Caitlin Clark's response to being treated disrespectfully for weeks. Sheldon wasn't finished, though. Reporters gathered around her after the game to inquire about the rematch, the tension, and of course, the foul. It was not a dodge for Sheldon. She didn't say sorry. She leaned in instead. If contact is too much for her, perhaps she's not up to this. The statement was more impactful than the foul. It wasn't merely a criticism of Clark's fortitude. Her position in the league was directly challenged. The fans lost it. The WNBA's following headline was, "This is war. Sheldon is out for blood." Another tweet read, "She's not just fouling Clark, she's trying to end her career. End her career." Sheldon proclaimed war, as well as Clark. She hasn't spoken a thing. In the meantime, the gap is widening. Sheldon is being defended by other teammates who claim that she plays hard and isn't deserving of the animosity. Others, such as Marina, may like tweets about holding Clark accountable but remain mute. Conversely, Clark's teammates are incensed. They're making her the target again, a Fever player was heard saying. Therefore, a few days ago when Caitlin Clark was last week, or not last week, the most incredible beast mode thing I've ever seen. A lady do in WNBA history was when Caitlin Clark was demolished and her girl Sophie defended her. Respectfully. I adore Caitlin Clark. She exhibited some conduct reminiscent of LeBron James. Every moment someone touches LeBron James, he physically flops. Additionally, I believe Caitlin Clark is kind of a failure. Legends who have retired are also contributing. The league needs rivalries, but not this kind, according to Lisa Leslie. We can't ignore the fact that, in my opinion, it's all about money marketing. The women's game has benefited from Caitlin Clark. I won't pretend that it's something we can't see. The Caitlin Clark effect is one of her most notable effects, indeed. Have there ever been instances where teams had to enter bigger arenas in order to play another team? No, we haven't. Therefore, why would we feel a certain way if Caitlin Clark brought it to the game and we had more viewers? She has more games on TV. We must realize that when one player eats, we all eat, in my opinion. Additionally, it simply makes things easier for everyone else, as we all have more opportunities. And in certain interviews, I believe Caitlin has even stated that, and I adore that. However, I adore that she isn't the player who acts as though everything revolves around her. It isn't. She is honoring and showing love to those of us who came before her. Swin Cash wrote, "Anyone who covers the league or players knows that's untrue. Protect the stars or lose the fans." But for you, someone who knows a life but has been removed, why do these things start to exist in the W? It's a microcosm of our society at the moment because there are people who find Caitlin Clark, the fantastic player who is white, to be extremely polarizing. There's a narrative to try to create that was aggressive even before Caitlyn of big black women tattoos. If you've been between those lines on the court, you know that they're very aggressive. There is no one like Caitlyn Clark, and those women want her to come and succeed. But they also want to bust her behind, as they should. And that's the real problem, because this isn't just a rivalry between two players. It's a power struggle for the league's soul. The WNBA is thriving because of Caitlyn Clark, who brings in millions of dollars through ticket sales, merchandise, and TV ratings. Now that the league is at a crossroads, will they protect their golden goose or allow the chaos to continue in the name of competition? This is what makes it so dangerous. Caitlyn Clark is the league's biggest star, but JCS Sheldon just became its best villain, fiery, unrepentant, and fearless. Every time she plays the bad guy, the views increase. The rematch drew record ratings, had millions of views on highlights, and had comment sections exploding with fans taking sides because they either love or hate her. Sheldon is now must-watch television. The league thrives on storylines like this. The WNBA is currently on a tightrope because JCS Sheldon did more than just foul Clark. She turned on the microphone, looked directly at the cameras, and said, "Let's go." This isn't just a rivalry. It's a struggle for power. If the WNBA lets Sheldon run wild, they risk losing Clark. But if they silence Sheldon, they lose the drama and the edge that keeps fans interested. Which side are you on? Leave a comment below, hit the like button, and subscribe. She just declared war on Clark. She hasn't responded yet, but when she does, the WNBA will be very different again.